And I know you love Landis Block as well.
And Jared Nice and the whole crew at Landis Block loves being a sponsor of this segment.
Hell yeah, why wouldn't they? Because it's Schefty. Schefty, good morning, man. What's going on?
Happy schedule release day, man.
This is
so excited.
And it's been so crazy, Schefty. Already 4 games that we know of for the Birds, and none of them are on a Sunday. We have the Thursday night opener. We have Monday night against the Packers. We have Black Friday against the Bears, and we have the Saturday doubleheader with the Commanders.
Well, I think that speaks to the fact that the Eagles are in demand in select certain spots, not your traditional Sunday game. Now, again, the Eagles are the only team to have virtually their entire schedule announced by now. Everybody else we're waiting to see. But that comes with one of the perks of being a Super Bowl winner. When you win the Super Bowl, people want to get you on. And so they're featured in the opening game of the year on Black Friday and the Saturday before Christmas, Monday night in Green Bay. These are the matchups that they're penciled into, and they're a marquee matchup, and obviously it's reflected in the way that they're scheduled right now.
There's zero chance that Adam Schefter is not showing up at least one Monday in Philadelphia. Would you think that I'm making a true statement or a false statement?
Well, there's a lot to that.
I think there's going to be a Monday Night Football game in Philly.
Well, if there's a Monday Night Football game in Philly, I would expect to be there then, yeah.
Yes, I think there's going to be one, and that's pretty particular. This team, there's still Rams game, Lions game, Bills game. I mean, the Eagles have some elite opponents that haven't found their way to the schedule yet.
Well, you can't announce everything. I mean, you got to hold some of it for schedule release day. Right here we are.
Sure.
And so we'll get the rest of it today at some point in time. Look forward to seeing if there is a Monday night game in Philadelphia. I'm sure there will be one in Philadelphia. Hard to imagine a team wins a Super Bowl is in as much demand as it is, and that we're not going to be going to Philadelphia. Like, by the way, I'm happy to come to Philly anytime. So if they want to schedule the Eagles for 2 home Monday night games, also fine by me.
I would love that.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Schefty, you've mentioned a couple of times high demand because the Eagles won the Super Bowl, but how much of it is it just the Philadelphia market and the draw to the Philadelphia Eagles with the players that they have in the history of the franchise? Because I like just a couple of years ago, it seemed like they were on national television every single week. So how much is it just the fact that they're the Eagles and not just the Super Bowl champions?
Well, I think it's a combination. I think the NFC East always is a big draw, period. Like, you could take a team when it's down, and they're still a draw. Now, I don't know, the Commanders the last couple of decades, maybe not quite as much, but it's still an NFC East matchup. And if you said to the networks, would you rather have the Commanders when they were terrible against any NFC East foe, or another matchup involving 2 ordinary teams and another more? I think more often than not, networks are going to pick NFC East matchups. And when you're a team that wins as often as Philadelphia, you become more desirable. And when you're a Super Bowl champion and now a multi-Super Bowl champion, you become that much more desirable. And when you've got stars like Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, well, now you're that much. So it's all stirred into the pot, and it all accounts for why the Eagles are in demand and why we would think that there'll be more primetime showings for them.
Have you ever done a story at any time, Adam, or talked to TV executives about the fights that go on between the networks with these, multi-billion-dollar contracts for the Eagles-Lions game? That has to be a huge turf war of who gets it. The Eagles-Chiefs Super Bowl rematch, that's got to be a huge turf war.
Well, what happens, and again, I know a little bit, but not a lot about it, but I know enough to know that I'm not going to be far off in what I'm going to tell you here. These networks meet with the NFL weeks and months in advance and give them their priorities. It's like a menu. Like, this is the game we really want. This is the game we really want. And it's lobbying, and it's fake. And then the league has to appease the networks. And if everybody wants that, Bills-Chiefs game, and it's going to a certain network, well, then maybe we got to make it up to the other. What's your second and third choice? And so you got to be very careful about that. And it's a whole process that plays itself out the entire off season. There are a lot of meetings that go on and a lot of calls and a lot of scheduling, and a lot of lobbying, and a lot of everything that goes into this today.
Adam Schefter joins us on the Comcast Business Hotline. You're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. Schefter, one of the questions we're asking the listeners today is whether or not you are prepared for maybe an uneasy season for the Eagles. Not a bad season, just an uneasy one, because the way the schedule is going to break down, the opponents that they're going to face, they're playing more playoff teams than non-playoff teams this season, and a lot of them are on the road. How much leeway should people give the Eagles, considering they are the Super Bowl champions, but they do have Super Bowl expectations for this season as well?
It's going to be an uneasy season. I can guarantee you that, because you're thinking like a world champion. Like, these seasons come along regularly, and they just don't. They just don't. Now, the Eagles may very well go ahead and repeat as Super Bowl champions. But just think about how hard that is. And think about the challenges that go into even a Super Bowl year. So now, when you're coming off a Super Bowl season and everybody's running for you, and Philadelphia's seen this before, and the schedule is the way it is, with a number of very tough road games in a division that's got arguably the best young quarterback in the league, there's no way that it's not going to be an uneasy season. But an uneasy season might be 12-5. That might be uneasy for you.
Right.
But it's going to be uneasy because it's not a case where you're thinking like a world champion and you're coming off the Super Bowl and you forget how difficult and how challenging that is and all the obstacles that are in your way on the way to that particular end result.
I am not trying to make a story out of nothing here, but I am going to just ask you a question. Have you heard anything about the Nick Sirianni contract extension?
It's funny you asked that. I haven't even checked on it.
I'm just surprised. I'm just surprised because that it's this late into the off season. Like we're heading into mini camps and things like that, and we haven't heard a contract extension yet.
Yeah, I knew. I checked on that before the draft. I knew it wasn't done then. And now that you say that, you just reminded me I got to check on it again. And so... all
right, there's your homework assignment for next week's appearance.
Right.
There you go. I mean,
this one was
anything
easy.
else I can give you?
Schedule release day was easy.
Anything else you can do for me? Like, I mean,
it's a good reminder. Like, I've been in, like, scheduling, thinking about the schedule.
Yes.
Starting with that, right? And... so that's one thing that's been going on, and I'm trying to think of the other things that we've been checking out. Honestly, it's just the nicest time of the year. It's also been busy. There's actually been stuff going on, like George Pickens trade and Justin Tucker release, and then what else was there? There's been stuff. It's not like there hasn't been stuff, but. That is a very, very good reminder to me. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Good work, Johnny. Shefty, one more thing on the schedule.
He's going to do the work, Andy.
Damn right he will.
Him.
Right before you came on, you put out the tweet that the Chiefs and Cowboys will be playing on Thanksgiving this year. I was looking at the past couple of seasons where the Cowboys played. Obviously, they play every year on Thanksgiving. It's been mainly Commanders, a couple Giants games mixed in. Really, the last time there was like a non-division game was the Bills back in 2019. Any reason why this year they decide to go with Cowboys-Chiefs, which, by the way, that excites me.
It's a great game.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when you look at that, when I saw that, I'm not telling you that they punt on Thanksgiving, because everybody's watching on Thanksgiving anyway. And so typically maybe, that in many cases, Cowboys are always a draw, Chiefs are always a draw. I don't know why they did that. It's a good question. It's a heck of a matchup. It just feels like we've been fed too much Giants, Cowboys, and whoever the heck. Like who else have we seen in recent?
Commanders/Washington football team
when they weren't good. But
exactly when they weren't good,
and they did huge. And that games did huge. Those games did huge numbers.
Right, and so this year, I mean. That's about as good a Thanksgiving Day matchup as you could hope for. So to me, that definitely got my attention when I saw that. Whoa!
Oh, we celebrated it when you tweeted it out that it's actually a marquee matchup. To your point, you're right. People are going to watch regardless, but that's a marquee matchup.
Okay, you got nothing else in the holster for Eagles fans, right? You have nothing else that you're going to tweet out after you get done with this phone call, right? About that Eagles fans want to know. I have to ask you. I got to ask.
No, by the way, like on the schedule stuff, it's sort of like draft picks. You just wait, like whatever, like. It's coming, but I happen not to know.
Okay.
I happen not to know more. To answer your question specifically, I'm not sitting on the Eagles' schedule here.
Okay.
Yeah, we can find that if we want it, but I'm not going to make that call.
Tonight at 8:00, we'll be excited to find out.
If you want to text me later, I wouldn't hate it. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, Schefter. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.
See you, buddy.
All right, guys, have a great week. Enjoy the schedule release day.
We
Thanks,
will.
man.
There's Adam Schefter on the Comcast Business Hotline, brought to us by our friends